now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the major rally that I'm expecting to be coming soon on Bitcoin. As you guys already know, there has, of course, been a major drop on Bitcoin. I'm trying to get the chat up here so I can read what you guys are saying. There has been a major drop on Bitcoin over the last month or so, and today we're going to be talking about when that ends. We're going to be talking about when Bitcoin will be rallying up towards $100,000, and most importantly, I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly how to build wealth here in the cryptocurrency space. So, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Today's stream is going to be a special one. I've got a very, very, very important announcement that I need to share with you guys at the end of the stream, and it is urgent, and I need you to hear it today, even this hour. My camera is going off. How about that? That's useful. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm not sure why that's happening. It's funny timing. As I said, let's see if we can't get our camera working here. Sorry about that. As I said, today is going to be a very special stream, and it just goes to show you that it is going to be a very special stream because this is not cooperating. I'm not sure what's going on with my tech here, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. We're going to spend a lot of time on the screen today because I don't want that to be happening. Apologies about that, guys. We're going to be diving right on into it, as I said, and I'll be figuring out what's going on there. Today has been a hectic day. For any of you guys that want a sneak peek of what I'm going to be mentioning later, check the first link in the description box down below. We'll talk about that in a minute, but for now, I want to share with you guys what you came to see, which was Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So let's do this, guys. Bitcoin is currently rallying up towards $57,900. It has rallied in the last 24 hours, and we're very, very excited about that. There has been a major rally on Bitcoin in the last 24 to 48 hours, and a large part of that is the hope that people are starting to feel around the Ethereum ETF launching and the Ethereum ETF bringing inflows into the space. It also comes from the fact that Bitcoin has now set a low that is potentially something that people could get behind. You see, people are looking for a low on Bitcoin. They're looking for where Bitcoin's going to bottom, because that's when they want to start buying. People right now are looking at buying. I was just coaching somebody yesterday who has been interested in buying Bitcoin, and part of the reason that they're so interested in buying Bitcoin is because of the major corrective movement that's been going on. In the last 30 days, we saw Bitcoin drop by over 25%. We saw Bitcoin drop down to about $54,000, and if Bitcoin is able to hold $54,000, it may be able to start a rally in the next several months, and there are a few reasons for that. Now, first things first, the first reason why I believe that a rally is likely going to be coming in the back half of this year is because the Ethereum ETF is coming online. The Ethereum ETF is likely going to be coming online before this date right here, September the 5th of 2024. We don't know if it's going to come sooner than that. We've had some false reports that it was coming sooner than that, or some false predictions, rather, that it was coming sooner than that from people that were, you know, quote-unquote insiders. Unfortunately, that's not what has happened, but what we do know is that it's coming. It has been approved, and it's on its way. And even on CoinMarketCap, there's some news coming out about it right now. Just in, all Ethereum spot applicants filed updated S1s. This is major. Fidelity, VanEck, Franklin, 21 Shares, Grayscale, and BlackRock have updated their S1s. If you don't know, the S1 application is the final application that is required for the Ethereum ETF to actually start trading on United States brokerages in the stock market. And so with these applications filed, all that we have to see now are the final deliberations between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and the applicants to make sure that all of the details are ironed out. And should those details continue to be ironed out, then what we're going to see happen is the ETF launch. And here's my prediction. Our prediction is we're going to see a major drop on Ethereum within the first few weeks of that launch. And from there, we're likely going to see a major rally coming several months later, the same way that we saw on Bitcoin and that we saw on gold. With Bitcoin, when we saw the Bitcoin ETF launch, Bitcoin originally dropped 21%. On the GLD, SPDR Gold Trust, the original gold ETF, we saw that gold in the first 90 days had a small rally, but from the beginning of the ETF, it actually dropped 7.6% in the first 81 days. It would take years, I say, for the gold market to rally up to where it would eventually go because of the gold ETF before the market finally normalized and the gold ETF was just part of life. Recently, gold has been breaking through that level at about 194 that has plagued it since 2012. If you'll remember back to the day when they had, all those commercials on screen right after 08. Everybody was freaking out. They're losing all their money. They wanted to do something other than the stock market. They just got burned in the stock market. They said, gold didn't get hit too hard during the recession. It only dropped 35%. Stock market dropped 70%. Buy gold. And so there was a lot of enthusiasm there, and it was kind of a fad. Well, gold has now broken that level and has been on about a 20-year rally ever since the ETF launched, although it did have a short-term drop in the beginning. And that's what we're seeing right now from Ethereum. We're likely going to see a drop on Ethereum coming when the ETF launches, the same way we saw with Bitcoin, the same way we saw with Ethereum, the same way we saw with gold, and that's going to lead Bitcoin in the direction of having a rally when the Ethereum ETF goes online. And the reason for that, quite simply, is that you're going to see a lot of inflows into the space. Right now, people are freaked out because Mt. Gox is distributing Bitcoin. Germany's government is selling Bitcoin to the tune of several thousand Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks. And people are also freaked out about the fact that, well, Bitcoin's down. A lot of the people that bought the ETF, they're thinking, oh my goodness, I bought the ETF where I'm almost back at break even. What gives? I thought Bitcoin just goes up and to the right. So there's a lot of having to swallow false precepts in the space going on right now as well. And so there's a lot of maturing that's going on in the cryptocurrency space, but in the end, that is going to be to the cryptocurrency market's advantage. Now, if you are new here, I want to give you a warm welcome. I want to give you a shout out, and I want to first and foremost say thank you for joining the stream. Anybody who might be here for the first time, if you'll give me a big wave in chat, I want to say hi, welcome you, and honor you. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I promise you I'm going to share with you what's going on in the market, and I'm also going to show you how to build wealth in the cryptocurrency space for the betterment of everybody around us. That's what we're here for. I want to see God's kingdom come and his will be done, and I want to see the poor taken care of. I want to see the oppressed brought out of oppression. I want to see people that are being hurt not be hurt anymore. And that's what that is my heart. That's what gets me fired up. That's what brings me joy. That's what brings me to the verge of tears is doing that for my family and for my church family and doing that for people that need help. I want to help. That's like my whole reason for being. I want to help. And so that's what I want to do. If you're here, I'm going to show you how to build wealth in crypto. I'm going to show you how crypto works. I'm going to show you how to read the charts. And I'm going to help you to succeed in the cryptocurrency space. Bill Brower just gave a wave. Shout out to you, Bill. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys being here. And thank you for bearing with me through the technical difficulties. It has been a very interesting day. And, Murphy's Law, if it can't go wrong, it will go wrong. And at the wrong time. Nobody remembers that part of Murphy's Law. If it can't go wrong, it will go wrong. And at the exact wrong time. That's Murphy's Law in action today. And as the stream approaches towards the end, I will explain a little bit more about what's been going on today because it's been a very, very hectic 24 hours. And I'm going to need to mobilize you guys to help with what I'm working on. Ryan Kessler just gave a wave, said, first time today. Shout out to you, Ryan. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to teach you how to succeed in cryptocurrency. I'm going to teach you how to succeed with money. And I'm also going to teach you how to have true joy. And a lot of that comes from being radically generous. But we can't be generous if we're broke. So I'm going to teach you how to make money. I'm going to teach you how to enjoy money. And I'm also going to teach you how to be generous with money, which is some of the most fun you'll ever have with money. Leroy N49 giving a wave. Shout out to you, Leroy. Welcome to the stream. We're in the Monsters Inc. movie right now. Vladimir is in chat, gave the wave. Shout out to you, Vladimir. Welcome to the stream. Eric Anthony Herrera is in chat, gave the wave. Shout out to you, my friend. Who is oppressed that you know? I'm not going to name names, but I happen to know somebody that was essentially in human slavery for the first 18 years of their life, first 16 years of their life, in basically sex slavery for the first 16 years of their life. I know this person very well. I know a lot of people that are genuinely just like, I'm not talking about, if somebody makes a mean comment. I'm talking about like, oh my gosh, they're like literally slaves. I'm well aware of a lot of people, and out of confidence for them, I'm not going to say names, but I know a lot of people that either have been in that situation, and unfortunately, some people that are in that situation, and they need us and they need help. Thomas Okapal. I'm sorry, Okapal. I'm sorry. I probably butchered that. Said good advice. Thanks, Jeb. Shout out to you, Thomas. I really appreciate all of y'all's encouragement, as we say it in the South. Y'all is a word in the South, just not in the Webster's Dictionary. All right, let's get started. We've got to talk a little bit about how Bitcoin is going to rally up towards $100,000, because I believe it's going to happen. You see, the funniest thing is that the #1 video on our channel is me saying that Bitcoin is not going to $100,000 as far as viewership. It's got like 135,000 views. It is one of the biggest videos on our channel. And the reason is because people have been saying Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 for years. And it hasn't happened yet. But that doesn't mean it's not going to. That doesn't mean it's not going to. Hassock said, my family have lived under oppression since the 1980s. Yeah, it's horrible. You know, there are people out there and they just want to hurt people. They do. They're evil people out there. They really are. Part of maturing is realizing that some people literally just have evil intentions. But anyway, Bitcoin, I believe, is going to be approaching $100,000 later this year, moving on into 2025. And the reason for that is quite simple. You see, Bitcoin is at the highest level that it's ever been at, where I believe it's going to have a strong bounce and a strong next movement. With Bitcoin's major movements in history, a lot of them have started at $3,000. Man, you'd have to 35x to get to 100K. They've started at $10,000. You'd have to 1,000x or 1,000% rally, a 10x rally to get to $100,000. We saw a rally start here, but of course it ran out of steam and it was a bounce, but it was actually, in my opinion, really the beginning of the bear market. Obviously, we did set a new higher high, a new all-time high up here. But really, I think that this bounce right here was just the beginning of the bear market. I think the entire bull market happened right here, and I actually consider this a dead cat bounce on the bull market, even though we set a new higher high. Because if it was part of the bull market, we would have gone much higher. We wouldn't have just stopped out at the double top, right? The first top is where you consider it to be the actual top. The second top is just a copycat. So we're looking at a situation right now that is fundamentally different from anything we've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. And that is that we've seen a massive rally here, but there are plenty of other bullish fundamentals that are coming into the space right now. Number one, we saw a Bitcoin halving take place over the last couple of months. Those normally take 90 to 360 days to have a bullish impact on the market. In fact, in the first 180 days after the Bitcoin halving event, oftentimes it leads to a crash on the market, probably having something to do with the fact that the miners just lost half their revenue, probably having to do with the fact that it normally happens about halfway through the bull market and the market was already ready for a corrective movement by the time the halving occurred. This is certainly a good example of that. The halving happens right here. Bitcoin's been on an upshot for the last 15 months. Obviously, it needed to correct at least somewhat. And so that's what we're seeing right now. But what I am witnessing in the analysis is that I'm not seeing Bitcoin drop down to $30,000. I'm not seeing Bitcoin drop down to $35,000. No, I'm seeing Bitcoin follow the exact same pattern that got it to $20,000 in 2017, which was rallying a great degree, but then dropping 35 to 40%, which gave it the ample time to rest, recover, and recuperate and ready itself for the next rally. How's that for alliteration? Off the cuff, guys. Welcome to the Crypto Jab YouTube channel. We are looking at a drop down here to about $48,000, $49,000. Even if that doesn't happen, that's okay. Potentially, we dropped low enough. But if Bitcoin did drop down to the high that was set on the day that the Bitcoin ETF launched here on the 10th of January 2024, that would be a $49,000 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dropped from all-time high at about $74,000 down to $48,900 or $49K, however you want to call it, that would be a 33% corrective movement. Not quite 40%, but we're also in a different era. Right now, we are about to see the Ethereum ETF go online, which was, as was asked in the comments, is that going to lead to a sell the news event? Yes, most likely it will. We can't say anything for certain, but most likely the Ethereum ETF launching will lead to a sell the news event. Sabin. And so I agree with the premise there. It's probably going to be a sell the news event, but it's not going to stay that way because what's going to happen is Ethereum is down 40% from its all-time high. Ethereum without an ETF, by the way, with barely having having Ethereum 2.0 and all these different updates that Ethereum has seen, we're down 40% from the all-time high. You're telling me that for Ethereum, just to go back to where it was in 2021, which had vastly underdeveloped fundamentals compared to where we are right now, not an Ethereum ETF, mind you, not even close, then what we're going to see happen is that we've got to see Ethereum rally 70% just to get back to all-time high. People that see that Ethereum ETF launch and they see that, they're going to say, yeah, I think I'll buy that. Stock market might rally 15% this year. Ethereum could rally 70? Yeah, I will. We just saw an Ethereum ETF go online. That is the United States government's green light of approval for the space. Have you noticed something? You're not getting an ETF on anything in crypto worth under $1/3 of $1 trillion right now. It's not a Ponzi scheme. That narrative has been dying for the last decade. Bitcoin and Ethereum are real projects, and they really do something. I explained this to someone in coaching yesterday. The reason that Ethereum has value is because decentralized finance is built on top of it. If you want to take out a loan, you can either go to a bank and you can pay a lot more in interest on that loan. And by the way, I don't like debt, but that doesn't mean our culture doesn't. You can go to the bank and you can take out a loan, and you are paying for all kinds of origination fees for the loan. You're paying for all kinds of closing costs if you're doing a mortgage. You're paying for all kinds of other interest that is there just to support the overhead of the bank. Well, if you want to take out a loan, or on the other hand, if you want to be the lender in cryptocurrency, then you do that on Ethereum. If you go to DeFi Llama, what are some of the biggest projects you're going to see on Ethereum? One of them, for example, is going to be Aave. We'll scroll down the list right here and you'll see it. One of the biggest ones here is Aave. Not sponsored, obviously. You guys know we never take coin sponsorships, but $10 billion in TVL in lending. Lido and Eigenlayer staking and restaking. $35 billion here. That is not as a result of market cap, where you can put $1 in a trade and that makes $10 in market cap. No, that is literally $30 billion. That is literally $30 billion, one-to-one backed in liquid staking in Lido and Eigenlayer. I never know how to pronounce this name. You got $10 billion in Aave for lending. $10 billion. $10 billion. In fees and revenue, Aave alone has made, almost $700,000 today. This is a real thing. Uniswap, DEX, $4 billion in TVL. Rocket Pool, $3 billion. Maker, Ether.fi, $5 and $7 billion respectively. That's what Ethereum does. What does Ethereum do? Honestly, it's easier to explain what Ethereum does than it is to explain what Bitcoin does. Because the main thing that Bitcoin does is it has a limited supply, and it is fundamentally unhackable. It is the most secure technological innovation in the history of mankind, and it has a limited supply, so it's thermodynamically sound, and it's superconducting because you can transfer monetary energy, money, currency, anywhere in the world, nigh instantaneously compared to the traditional banking system. Now, of course, the stablecoins have been working greatly on that as well. So the stablecoins have taken some of the use case of that away from Bitcoin, but Bitcoin still is used in large transactions like that because of its stability, because of the fact that even though its market moves, in general, it moves up. And two, the stablecoins are, of course, more centralized. They are more centrally managed. We've tried to build a decentralized stablecoin. It didn't work. It's called Luna. It collapsed. $100 billion vanished. Right? So it is a little bit centralized, so people still use Bitcoin for that. Bitcoin, you can explain, is a little bit harder. Ethereum is very easy to explain, even to Wall Street. What is Ethereum? What is Ethereum? People call it digital oil, but what does that mean? It's the thing that allows for most of the cryptocurrency and decentralized finance space to happen. The decentralized finance space is a new technological, innovative disruptor to the traditional banking system. You want to borrow money? One day you're going to be doing it in DeFi. You're not going to be doing it at the bank. Why? Because it's cheaper. The bank can't compete with the rates because DeFi is decentralized. By its very nature, it's using technology, it's using code that doesn't need to draw a $450,000 paycheck to run a branch office. Instead, DeFi has none of the overhead. DeFi doesn't have a skyline. It doesn't have a 100-story skyscraper in Manhattan that it's got to pay God only knows how many millions of dollars a year to maintain. Let alone the fact that the building's worth $5 billion itself, and you got to pay property taxes on that sucker in the middle of Manhattan. DeFi doesn't have those expenses. And so Ethereum is going to be a huge thing, because when you bring finance on the blockchain, mind blown, that's a lot of money. Look, you guys know I do not like debt, but here's the fact of the matter. Our culture does. It loves debt. It loves lending. It loves loans. And it's a big business. Makes a lot of freaking money. And here's the other thing. People are probably going to want to work with lending on DeFi instead of with the banks because they don't want to make the bankers rich anymore. They want to make their peers rich. Like, hey, I'm paying interest. I'd rather pay it to some schmo who's worth 500 grand and he's just trying to build his retirement fund, and I'm going to pay him interest, and that's how he's going to make his money, by lending me the money. No intermediary. I'm not making the bank rich. I'm not getting the rich richer. I'm helping, Joe Blow, who lended $40,000 into this, and he's just trying to build a retirement fund with it. So Ethereum is coming, and when people see that, and Wall Street is seeing that, when the Ethereum ETF goes live and they say, man, we're going to rally 70% just to get back to all-time high, let alone the fact that a lot of people are calling for a $10,000 Ethereum, that would be a 250% return. Then what you end up seeing happen here is you see a lot of investment come into Ethereum. You see the inflows be massive, and when you see those inflows be absolutely enormous, that's where Bitcoin and Ethereum turn around. That Ethereum ETF is likely to come online in the next couple of months. When it does come online, it will likely be a sell the news event, as we discussed. But after that, we will see inflows in the billions, if not in the tens of billions of dollars. And that will lead to a massive uptrend on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. And those of us that have stock, or I suppose this case, coin, in these investments are going to make money. Why? 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 Why are we going to make money? Is it because we, got lucky? No, it's because we decided to follow the financial sovereignty way. We decided to live on less than we make. We decided to have a written plan for our money. We decided to be out of debt. We decided to be radically generous. We decided to save and invest for the future, obviously. We decided to be financially sovereign. And we decided to invest in technology that actually has a real-world use and a real-world application that targets a real-world pain point. What's the pain point for Bitcoin, you might ask? Inflation. Guys, inflation is destroying businesses the world over. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. I've got a special story that I need your help with. I really do. I need your help. And I'm praying to God that you guys will watch until the end. Please, if you've ever watched one of our streams, please watch this one to the end. I've never said that before, but I really mean it this time. But the reason that people are buying Bitcoin is because there's a real pain point. Here's the pain point. Inflation. The US dollar is inflating much faster than it needs to. Is inflating much faster than it needs to keep up with the growing demand for money supply. If you needed to inflate the currency to keep up with the money supply so that you didn't go into a real disinflationary cycle, right, where then you would probably need to inflate the currency around 1 to 2% a year. Just to grow the money supply, because there's more people, right? There's more people going around, so there's more business going around, so you need more dollars to cover all of that. You're going to have to print some money. You're going to have to put some money into circulation to cover that. And that's not actually going to cause necessarily inflation. It's just to allow it to not go into disinflationary territory, right? Deinflationary territory. And so you have to do a little bit, but that's not what's going on. We saw the balance sheet at the Fed absolutely skyrocket during the COVID-19 pandemic. Exploded from $3.7 trillion to $9 trillion. This is not the printing of money. People say money printer go burr. This is not money printer go burr. This is stock engine go burr, right? And you get the little chameleon looking pattern here where they're trying to fix it, right? The Federal Reserve is trying to fix this, but essentially what happened is the Federal Reserve, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, to stop the stock market from absolutely collapsing, which, by the way, is a good reason to invest in the stock market, because you have the most powerful government in the history of mankind manipulating the market to continue making it go up and to the right because they don't want 200 million retirement investors to kick them out of office. Can I get an amen on that in chat? You got the most powerful organization in the history of mankind called the United States federal government manipulates the stock market to make it go up. I mean, come on. Right? Come on. It's that simple. But what happened here is they basically took out, they purchased treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. Purchasing a treasury is basically a way of the Fed lending money to the treasury. They bought a treasury and the treasury pays it back to the Fed. That is, being paid back. They're not renewing the treasuries. They're actually allowing them to close out. So that's taking some of the money off the balance sheet. They also bought mortgage-backed securities, which basically a bank sells its mortgages into something called a mortgage-backed security, which is where you combine a buttload of, and I believe that is the technical term, you combine a metric buttload of mortgages into a securitized package and you invest in it, and you're investing basically in the returns that the mortgages make. So the mortgage company isn't making all of the money that you're paying in interest. Some of the people on Wall Street that are trying to get filthy rich, that are buying mortgage-backed securities, MBS, are the ones that are getting filthy stinking rich off of your interest payments as well. So you're not only padding the pockets of the banks, you're also padding the pockets of Wall Street when you're in debt. Newsflash, in case you didn't know that. But the Federal Reserve bought a bunch of those mortgage-backed securities, pumping their price, putting money into the economy, and then they hold the mortgage-backed securities. Those have a certain lifespan on them, and when they run out, then the Federal Reserve has been allowing some of them to roll off every month, bringing down the balance sheet. But essentially, they put $5 trillion into the economy, which led to a huge amount of inflation, while also making some of the people that bought the mortgage-backed securities extremely rich. Who's the number one trader in mortgage-backed securities? The banks. So the banks get richer, you get broker, because inflation happens and the bank makes money off of it. That is why people are buying Bitcoin. They're sick of it. They're freaking tired of it. You know, people think that I'm the enemy because I hate debt. I'm literally a fundamentalist when it comes to Bitcoin. I cannot stand the traditional banking system. Can't stand it. That's why I'm in Bitcoin. It's also why I hate debt. They're literally from the same point. I want to be in control over my wealth, not the bank. And so that's part of the reason I buy Bitcoin, is because I want to be sovereign over my wealth. And that's why other people are doing it too. That message is spreading to the tune of 250 million people investing in the cryptocurrency space now. It's coming, and it's not slowing down. There's no brakes on this train, man. It only goes faster. Now listen, there's going to be corrections. There's going to be drops. Bitcoin might drop 80% again. It can happen. Ethereum might drop 70% again. It can happen. But here's the point. You and I want to be sovereign over our wealth, so we buy Bitcoin, and when we share that with people, you know what? They get a little sick and fed up of it too. Banks are making all the money, and we're getting the inflation end of it. They're the ones getting richer, and what are we doing? We're paying twice as much for groceries because the cost has to be kicked down the line to the consumer. They're sick of it. It sucks. And so the average American says, I'm not playing that system. I'm going to buy Bitcoin instead of holding dollars that inflate away. Bitcoin goes up. I'm going to use DeFi instead of the traditional banking system because I want, Joe Blow down the street, my peers, to be making money off of my interest. If I'm going to be in debt, I might as well let the money go to, some guy who's just trying to put food on the table rather than padding the skyline with extra skyscrapers, right? And nothing wrong with big business. I got nothing wrong with somebody having a $100 billion business. I want to build a multi-billion-dollar business and give all of the money eventually to the kingdom of God and to people that need help. Right? There's nothing wrong with capitalism. That's not the problem. The problem is people making money while screwing other people over doing it and institutionalizing it and giving it a fancy political correct term called banking. That's the issue. And there are some good small banks out there. There's some good small credit unions. We have a bank that we work with. It's small, it's local. I really love our bank. I love the people there. They're not trying to screw anybody over. They're really trying to help, okay? So it's not literally the entire banking system. It's the whole, not all thing, right? Not all, but a lot of them, especially the bigger ones. They are soulless, heartless corporate juggernauts, and their only mission in life is make money and not for the betterment of mankind, no matter what they will tell you. And so if you want to be divorced from that system like I do, then you buy Bitcoin and you get involved in DeFi if you're going to do loans, which I don't. But if you were going to, then use DeFi at least, right? So here's the fact. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the next wave of finance, and that is going to help lead them on a massive bull market coming later on this year and over the course of the next several years. All right, I'm going to catch up on chat. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Kielai said, why is Kryptonite pumping so hard? I don't know. Did I win a battle with Superman? I'm sorry. I had to. Kryptonite. Let's see. I'm not familiar with it. It is, where is it? Did I say rank number 2,877? Yeah, so I am going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say I have absolutely no idea why it's pumping. I have no clue. I have no clue, nor do I care. When I look at a chart like this, it's not a chart I buy. Market's down. God, I can't even get, off the top of my head, can I even calculate that? Down 98%. Down 98%. Yeah. I'm not, I would not call this a pump just because the last day it rallied 70%. I don't know. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know what it is, but I wouldn't touch it. I don't invest in things that don't have a track record. I'm not, and listen, you can make money doing that. You can also lose a buttload of money doing that. So please be careful. There are hundreds of thousands of cryptos you can use for sovereignty. That's right. There are. And a lot of them still need some track record to be proven. And a lot of them I wouldn't invest in now, but in 10 years, if they're still around, I might still do it. I might, we might. One day, I have a vision that I think there's going to be dozens or hundreds of cryptos that somebody ought to invest in for their retirement, including the stock market. I still believe that you should invest first and foremost in the United States stock market for retirement, for the stability, and for the fact that, like I said, it's manipulated by the United States government to the upside permanently. But there's a lot of wealth to be built in cryptocurrency as well, which is one of the major places that I differ from someone like Dave Ramsey. I firmly believe there's a lot of value here in crypto. John Rawson giving us the wave in chat. Shout out to you, John Rawson. Welcome to the stream. So very blessed that you guys could be here today. All right, guys. I also want to let you guys know about one of our sponsors, NordVPN. If you guys have not already, I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys to check out NordVPN. The reason for this is because NordVPN is going to help keep you safe while you browse online. If you are wanting to build wealth in cryptocurrency, one of the worst things that you could ever do, one of the worst things that you could ever do is get hacked, because you just did all that work for nothing. And not only did you do it for nothing, you did it to make an evil person rich. NordVPN is like a cloaking device while walking through the bad part of town. Guys, Bitcoin's still the Wild West. You walk out at the wrong part of the day, and you get caught in the middle of a gunslinging duel between Clint Eastwood and some lowlife, right? You're gonna get in the middle of that. It's still the Wild West. It's still the Wild West. And so NordVPN is gonna help keep you safe. Who's ever watched the third Back to the Future movie? Who's ever watched the third? That's controversial take. That's my favorite Back to the Future movie. It took place in 1885, right? You know, spoiler alert, came out in 91, so it's been, I don't know, 33 years. It's been a third of a decade. It's been a third of a century. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sorry, but I'm about to spoil it for you. You know, Marty McFly gets shot, falls over, audience thinks he's dead, lifts up his shirt. He had a steel plate right there, and he's fine, right? That's basically NordVPN. You're walking through the bad part of town. You're in crypto. There's a lot of money to be made here, but there's also a lot of evil people here because there's a lot of money to be made here. And you lift up your shirt because the hacker tried to hit you, and you say, I'm good. I got NordVPN. You can't touch me, because you have no idea where I am. My cloaking device. That's exactly what happens when you put NordVPN on your computer. You lift up your shirt and you say, you thought. That's what happens. So sign up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below if you have not already, or by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb, get 4 months free, and sign up for a 2-year plan for under $200 and protect yourself like Marty McFly did from that rifle for the low cost of under $200 a year, or every 2 years. Low cost of under $100 a year, actually. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and read chat a little bit, guys. Very excited about everything here. Money printing equals currency manipulation. Yeah, that's literally the Fed's job. Their job is to manipulate the United States dollar. That's their job. That's what they're there for. And listen, I'm not even necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I want the United States dollar to succeed. The issue is that when you have flawed humans manipulating a currency, then you can end up with things going south, which is what happened during COVID. The agnostic amphibian said, yeah, the third one was the best. It was. They're all good. Third's the best. First one's the second best. Second one, man, I just didn't get it. I just didn't get what Biff was doing. I didn't understand it. But nevertheless, all three of them are classics, and everybody ought to watch Back to the Future at least once in their life. Let's watch Bitcoin hit over $100,000 by the end of the year. Absolutely. I love that. I love it. Now, guys, I need your help. I need your help, and I am really hoping that you will share this part of the stream with somebody. My son is in preschool, and he learns about Jesus there. And this is a complete off topic, right? I get that. He learns about the Lord there. He loves going to school there. And we got a message yesterday from the preschool saying that they were going to have to close. They were going to have to close their doors because of financial hardship. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right, and I don't think that's good. It is a preschool that is attached to a church, and the church just can't prop them up anymore. The funds aren't there. So when we saw that, I was annoyed for a little while, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is like what I do for a living. Is I help people that are broke turn things around and actually set them on a collision course with growth and with succeeding. And so I reached out to the head pastor, sent him a big long email, and I'd like to read you a little bit of that email. And I basically said, I want to help. I want to help. I want to help get this turned around. They were forthcoming with some of the financial information, and so I wanted to help. And so I sent the head pastor an email titled, "Urgent, please read. I'm a Christian financial coach, and I want to help save the academy." And so I said, hello, Sean. I'm a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ, and I'm praying earnestly that you and your leadership team will let me help you with the academy. I want nothing in return but to see God's kingdom come and His Spirit move through the churches of America. On and on and on. I'm not going to get into everything I said in this because it is a private email, but at the end of it, I said that I want to help them save the church, and I really believe that it can be done. And so it's a big, long message. I'm not going to read all of it for the sake of time, but I was responded by the director of operations of the church, which is literally like 10 feet away from the preschool. It's 2 separate buildings. And he responded with the balance sheet and the P&L, which I will not be sharing, and I will not be sharing a single detail of. I was asked for them to stay confidential, which I would have left them confidential anyway. So I will not be sharing a single detail of that other than the fact that there's hope. I looked at it. I spent 3 hours last night putting together a plan for how the finances could be saved, and I am firmly in the camp that it can happen. There are 60 children here learning about the Lord Jesus Christ. They're learning about how to be kind and gentle. They're learning their shapes and their numbers and their colors. These kids love this place. We love this place. We love the teachers. The teachers have bent over backwards for our kid, right? I am remiss to watch this place close down because of financial hardship when this is literally what I do for a living. 2 days before we got this email on Monday, on Saturday, I prayed to God for a challenge. I said, God, challenge me. I'm being very vulnerable with you guys here. I've been up on the verge of tears for the last 24 hours with this. I said, God, challenge me. I want to be challenged. I want to help somebody. Just don't let it be anything to do with my wife or my family's health, please. We got this message, and I thought, oh my goodness, this was coming anyway. But this is what's going on here. This can change. The church is in retreat in America, guys, and some of you guys aren't Christians, and that's totally fine. No judgment. I love you so much. I hope that you choose to follow Jesus like I do, because it's the best decision I ever made in my entire life. But it's totally, look, I'm going to love you no matter what. But for those of you who are listening to the sound of my voice and you love Jesus and you love that our kids are being taught about Christ, I am earnestly begging you to help. I've looked at the finances myself. I can't share any of them. I will not share any of them. But there's hope. That's all I'll say, but there's hope. I've watched it. I wrote a 10-page letter called the Battle Plan. It was titled Operation Save the Academy last night. I sent it to the director of ops. I got a response this morning, and it seems like he's willing to try. I am leaving as soon as the stream's over to go to the academy and talk to him directly. I've never even met the man. I've never met him in person. I'm going to go find him. I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to say, we can save this place, but I need to know if you're willing to fight. He might be watching right now. I don't know. If you're watching, I need to know if you're willing to fight, because this place can be saved. I see it in the numbers. It can happen somehow. If we can, by faith, throw a mountain into the sea, we can save a preschool so our kids are learning about Jesus. So I'm going to go as soon as the stream's over with my wife and my daughter. I'm going to go talk to him, and I'm going to figure out where he stands. I started a GoFundMe. We need about $50,000 to keep the place open until we can figure out how to get the books balanced and until we can slash and burn, just like we teach in the second step of the financial sovereignty way, the same way that I had to do for 2 years when, because of my own foolishness, I was watching the business that I had built with millions of dollars of revenue crumble around me because I was not running things the way that I should have been. And I'm pretty confident that it can happen. I'm pretty sure that it can happen. I think that this place can be saved. So I'm humbly asking you, if you're interested, to check the link in the description box down below and make any contribution that you can. I think it's active. I made it this morning. I've never made a GoFundMe before, so please check it out. We're going to be, contributing to it as well. I believe it can be saved. I believe that, we were told yesterday, Monday, July the 8th, that the doors are shutting on July 19th, 2 weeks later, because payroll can't run, right? 20 teachers going to have to find new jobs. 60 kids going to have to find new friends. Probably 100 and some parents going to have to find new care that their kids trust, that they trust, that are going to teach their kids about the Lord. The ministry opportunity that this church has is enormous. I know their heart. I know they love Jesus. As soon as I leave here, I'm going and talking to the guy that is in charge of this, that calls the shots. I'm going to see where his heart is, because I know that we can fight and I know we can save this thing. I'm going to see if I can get him on board, if he's in the same mindset. They've been trying to save the academy for 3 years. I think that it can be done. From there, I've got several different people I'm going to fundraise. I'm going directly to talk to a few different people that I've got in mind today to try and raise a few tens of thousands of dollars to keep this place open. I am going to fight for this place because I believe that teaching our children about Christ is important. I was not going to make this public because I don't want any of the glory of this. The only reason I'm making this public, the only reason you guys even know I'm doing this, is because I need your help to keep the doors open until we can start treating the patient, because we just had a shark bite and the patient is bleeding out. By July 19th, I need the church to see some cash infusion today so that they can signal to parents, no, actually, we said we're closing our doors, but by golly, we are going to fight. And we are personally going to be donating to this ourselves. So please, I'm begging you, check it out. If you feel led, consider it, pray on it. It would be very helpful. Appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate that. Crypto Jeb, what church are you from? Are you Catholic? Not Catholic. I believe I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I don't necessarily say that I'm a I go to a certain church, right? But I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm a disciple and a follower of Jesus is who I am. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about crypto here. Thank you guys for hearing my heart on that. I really firmly believe that this is something that can be done. So if you feel led to contribute and help, there's a lot of kids here that are about to lose all their friends and all their favorite teachers, and that's just something that I'm not willing to go down without a fight. At the end of the email, that's what I want to say. I was a little bit flustered, so I forgot. At the end of the email, I said, at the end of the email that I sent to the head pastor that later got forwarded to the the director of operations, I said, at least let me try for my son. So I at least want my son to know that, man, the academy closed, but my dad's a financial coach. He tried. If it closes anyway, then I tried. Okay, but I'm praying hard that this place will stay open. Your prayers are appreciated. That's the best thing you can give. The second best thing you can do is dollars. I'm going to try and see if we can set it up where all the dollars go back if it doesn't work out. If not, just know they're going to a church, and the church is a really good church also. So just consider it a generosity thing. So anyway, really appreciate all of you guys for hearing me on that. But as I was talking about, I believe that Bitcoin is likely going to be going to $100,000 later on this year, moving on into 2025. And so to conclude here, all of our points, the main thing that I'm interested in sharing with you guys here is that Bitcoin is going to see a major rally coming in the later part of 2024, moving on into 2025. And I believe if you invest now, you're going to be making money. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. If you invest now, you're going to be making money. And I want you to start out by doing something, and I'll leave you guys on this. I want to start out, Crypto Independence said it's a tax write-off. That's a good point. It's a tax write-off, one to one if you donate to this. It's tax deductible, yep. Tax exempt, actually. But anyway, here's how I want you to do this. Here's how you succeed. You set up a schedule, and you say, every Friday, I will invest $100 into Bitcoin on crypto.com. Or every Tuesday, I will invest $200 into Bitcoin and Ethereum in a 2-to-1 split on Coinbase, whatever. But you set up that schedule, and you run it, and you live on less than you make, and you say, this is how much of my income is going to investment. And then here's what you do. You let that ride for 10 years, 20 years. You say, 10 years, 20 years? Yeah, what are you, crazy? No, I'm not crazy. It's called investment, guys. Investment is not just a year. You're planting seeds in the ground, and sometimes you're not going to harvest these seeds for 20 years. That's what it is. It's delayed gratification. That's how you succeed. So here's the deal. I want you to set that up. Remember, every interval, I will invest X number of dollars into Y cryptocurrencies in Z crypto exchange. So check that out. Build that. And then go from there. If you skip that step, you shouldn't skip that step. That's an important step. Like, why would you skip that step, right? We're dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. And if you want to get frisky, you move it into Ethereum also. That's what I want you to do. If you do that, I think you're going to be in good shape. All right, guys. I also want to let you know about one of our sponsors today, which is Vault. Guys, Uphold is a great exchange, and they've got a great product, and it's called Vault. Peace of mind is the best way to describe this product, because should you lose your keys, you've lost your coins, and you've lost your investment, which means you've lost time. You only get so much time in your life, and you trade time for money. So if you lose your money, you're losing time, which means you're losing part of your life. Uphold's Vault is going to help you to not lose your keys. Because if you lose a key, the Uphold key can stand in the place, regenerate the whole wallet, and you'll be safe. It's that simple, and you should check it out with a free 30-day trial with a link in the description box down below. Shadrach Frost said, I'm praying for this, brother. I appreciate it. Let's see. Really appreciate it. Kielai? I'm sorry. I hope I pronounced your name right. I feel like I've gotten worse over the years with pronouncing names. I'm sorry. Said hi. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right, guys. A lot of love in chat for what I was talking about earlier. Daniel Eklund said, weirdest VPN explanation I've ever heard. That's what I need to get that on a shirt. Like, I have been called the king of weird analogies for years. But shout out to the time of good movie explanations. We got our first donation. I'm going to keep it anonymous because I don't know if somebody wants it to be known. But we did just have a donation for $31 into Operation Save the Academy. So thank you very much to that individual. I will keep your name private because I don't know whether you want to be known or not, but I'm sure you're watching the stream right now. So thank you so much. Well, it's on here actually. So shout out to you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I will do my very best to lead this church as best I'm able to and support them as best I'm able to and keep this place open so that your funds are and look, if the thing doesn't work out, I'm going to see. I've never done this before. I'm going to see if there's a way that the money can be refunded to you at the end of it. I'm not going to make any promises on that because I legally don't want to set myself up to fail because I can't be sure. But worst case scenario, the money will go to the church, and the church is very missional, and they are in the business of helping people. Right? It'll go to preschool teachers that make not very much, making and helping them to find another job. So no matter what happens, it will be going to a good cause. So I do appreciate you guys on all of this. All right, let's see here. Last thing I suppose that we need to mention, guys, I got to let you know about Crypto.com. Guys, Crypto.com is awesome. I just talked about this whole investment plan. Every interval, we will invest blank into Y cryptocurrencies on ZX Cryptocurrency Exchange. Well, one of the best cryptocurrency exchanges to do this is Crypto.com. So you should absolutely check them out with a link in the description box down below. Set up your recurring purchases that I talk about in our DCA strategy, in our investment strategy, our written plan for our investments. Do that on Crypto.com. And then after you make your investments, you can on-chain stake. You can stake the money on-chain, which is great because you end up making money on the money that you're already investing that is making money because the market's going up. So you're compounding your compound interest. It's incredible. Excuse me. And so when you invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrency here on Crypto.com, you're setting yourself up for success, not only because the great exchange has got all the coins you're going to need, but also because you are signing up for an exchange that has excellent user experience. Incredible UI, UX, user interface, user experience, which is important. You might not think it's important, but it is important because if you don't keep your UI, UX, if you don't choose an exchange with good user interface and good user interface, good user experience, then it makes it harder to invest. And then that friction slows you down. You don't want that. So make sure to sign up for Crypto.com with the link in the description box down below. And thank you guys very much for hearing my heart on this. Like I said, we're going to be helping however we can. The main thing I'm doing is I am staying up late into the night, going there in the middle of the day, doing the best that I can, and we're going to be, contributing financially to it as well. So, we've got a son in preschool there too, so we've been contributing financially to it in that way as well. So that's my heart. That's what I want to do. I want to help you guys. I want to, help them. I want to help them teach these kids about Jesus and explanation on that. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. I am going to have to wrap it out. If you did enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for more updates on all of this. Very excited to see where we might be able to take this. If you enjoyed today's stream, consider tuning back in tomorrow. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.